The phone rang at 2 a.m., shattering the fragile peace of our bedroom. I fumbled for it, heart pounding as Isla bolted upright beside me, her eyes wide with a fear I'd never seen before. "It's about Ivy," the voice on the other end said, and in that instant everything I thought I knew about my marriage crumbled. My wife's ex-lover had just jumped from the rooftop of the Chicago Tribune building, leaving behind a note that named Isla as the one who broke her. I stared at Isla, the woman I'd married 5 years ago in a quiet ceremony our families barely tolerated. Her face drained of color and she whispered, "No?" over and over like a mantra to ward off the truth. But the truth was relentless. Ivy, the fiery artist who'd once shared Isla's life in secret, was gone. Her body sprawled on the pavement below the newsroom where Isla worked as a senior editor. The police were already piecing together the puzzle, and Isla's name was at the center of it. In the hours that followed, I drove us to the morgue in silence, my mind racing through the fragments of their history I'd pieced together over the years. Isla had told me about Ivy early on, framing it as a youthful mistake, a phase she'd outgrown before meeting me. "We were just experimenting," she'd said with a laugh that never reached her eyes. But now, as we identified the body, Ivy's once vibrant features now cold and still, I saw the lie in that dismissal. Isla's hand trembled in mine, but she pulled away when the detective mentioned the suicide note. "She said you destroyed her," he read aloud, his voice clinical. "That you chose the safe path, the heterosexual facade, and left her in the ruins." Isla's breath hitched, and she turned to me with eyes full of accusation, as if I were the one who'd pushed Ivy over the edge. Back home, she paced the living room, her thoughts a whirlwind I could almost hear. Why did I let her go? She must have been thinking. Why did I bury that part of myself for a life that feels like a cage? I tried to comfort her, wrapping my arms around her stiff frame, but she shrugged me off. "You don't understand, Alex," she snapped, using my name like a weapon. "You never did." The next morning, the news exploded across every channel. "Prominent artist's tragic leap. Love, loss, and hidden lives," the headlines screamed. Reporters swarmed our doorstep, hungry for the scandal of a married woman's secret affair with another woman. My phone buzzed with texts from friends. "Is it true? Was Isla?" "You know." The implication hung heavy, lesbian, queer, not straight like we'd presented to the world. Our families called too. My conservative parents from Texas, who'd always eyed Isla with suspicion, demanded answers. "We raised you better than this," my mother hissed. Isla's own family, devout Catholics from the suburbs, went silent at first, then unleashed a torrent of guilt. "This is what happens when you stray from God's path," her father thundered over speakerphone. Isla retreated into herself, locking the bedroom door and refusing meals. I heard her sobbing through the walls, her inner turmoil spilling out in muffled cries. She must have been replaying every moment with Ivy. The stolen kisses in college dorms, the whispered promises under New York City lights before Isla moved to Chicago for her career. Ivy had followed, begging for more, but Isla chose stability, me, the reliable lawyer with a promising future. We built a life. The house in Lincoln Park, the weekend brunches, the pretense of normalcy. But now, with Ivy's death ripping open old wounds, Isla's facade cracked. Was it worth it? She wondered in the quiet hours. Sacrificing love for acceptance, trading passion for peace? By evening she emerged, her eyes red-rimmed but resolute. "We need to talk," she said, sitting across from me at the kitchen table. The air thickened with unspoken truths. Ivy and I. It wasn't just a fling. She was everything to me once. And when I ended it, I told myself it was for the best. For my career, for my family, for us. Her voice broke. "But I killed her, Alex. Not literally, but I might as well have." I reached for her hand, but she pulled back again. "No. You deserve the truth. I've been lying to myself, to you, to everyone. I'm not straight. I never was. Marrying you was my way of fitting in, of avoiding the judgment, the whispers behind my back." The words hung between us like a guillotine. Society's expectations had molded her into this role. The perfect wife, the ambitious professional. But the cost? Ivy's life, and now perhaps our marriage. The betrayal stung, sharp and deep. I'd suspected, of course, late nights at work, distant gazes during intimate moments, but hearing it aloud shattered me. What about us? I asked, my voice cracking. Was any of it real? She looked away, tears streaming. Parts of it. But I can't keep pretending. Ivy's death. It's a wake-up call. I have to live my truth, even if it means losing everything. That night, as I lay awake, my own thoughts tormented me. Had I been blind? Or complicit in her denial? The world outside judged harshly. Online forums buzzed with vitriol, calling Ivy's suicide a queer tragedy, or worse, blaming Isla for stringing her along. Friends divided into camps, some supportive, others distancing themselves. The pressure mounted, a societal vice squeezing us both. The following day brought more confrontation. Isla's boss called her into the office, the same building where Ivy had ended it all. "This is bad for the paper," he said bluntly. "Your personal life is spilling into our headlines. Take some time off." Humiliated, Isla stormed out, her career, the one she'd sacrificed so much for, now teetering. At home, she confided her fears. "What if they fire me? What if my family disowns me?" But beneath the panic was a flicker of resolve. For the first time, she admitted to herself that hiding her identity had been a moral compromise, one that led to Ivy's despair. I watched her grapple, her inner monologue a storm. I chose wrong. Safety over love, conformity over authenticity. And now the price is blood on my hands. As the sun set, she turned to me with finality. "I want a divorce, Alex. Not because I don't care, but because I can't keep hurting people like this, including you." The words hit like a freight train, leaving me reeling. Our life, built on half-truths, was collapsing, and in the debris, I saw the stark reality of choices made under duress. But as Isla packed a bag to stay with a friend, I wondered if this was destruction or liberation. The divorce papers arrived 2 weeks later, served coldly by a process server at my office. I signed them in a daze, my colleagues whispering behind closed doors about the scandalous split. Isla had moved out, crashing on a couch in a friend's apartment downtown, her life unraveling thread by thread. But in her mind, this was the first honest step she'd taken in years, breaking free from the heterosexual mask that had suffocated her soul. She spent days wandering Chicago's streets, her thoughts a relentless barrage. Why did it take death to wake me? Ivy's face haunted her, those bright eyes dimmed by rejection. The artist who'd painted their love in vivid strokes now reduced to a tragic headline. Isla replayed their last encounter, a chance meeting at an art gallery 6 months ago. Ivy had pleaded, "Come back to me. This marriage is a lie." Isla had turned away, whispering, "It's too late. I'm committed." Committed to what? She now asked herself. To a facade that pleased her parents, her bosses, society at large? Her family's reaction amplified the torment. A tense dinner at her parents' house in the suburbs turned into an interrogation. "How could you do this to us?" her mother cried, clutching her rosary. "We raised you to be a good Catholic girl. Marriage is sacred, between a man and a woman." Isla's father slammed his fist on the table. "And that woman? Her death is on you. You let her on, played with sin, and now look what's happened." The words cut deep, echoing the moral dilemma she'd buried. Was loving Ivy a sin? Or was denying it the greater wrong? Society's judgment weighed heavy. Neighbors gossiping, church friends shunning her. But in the quiet, Isla felt a spark of defiance. "I won't apologize for who I am anymore." Meanwhile, I navigated my own hell. Friends rallied around me, painting Isla as the villain, the cheater who'd hidden her true self. "You deserve better," they said, but their sympathy felt hollow. In truth, I questioned my role. Had I ignored the signs because I wanted the picture-perfect life? The successful couple, the envy of our social circle. Now, alone in our empty house, I confronted the betrayal. She'd chosen me as a shield, not a partner. The anger boiled. How dare she use me to hide? But beneath it, pity stirred. Society had forced her hand, its rigid norms crushing authentic love. Isla's awakening brought new conflicts. She reached out to old friends from the LGBTQ+ community, one she distanced herself from after marrying me. At a support group meeting in a dimly lit community center, she shared her story, voice trembling. "I thought marrying a man would make everything easier. No stares, no questions. But it destroyed the woman I loved." A young lesbian nodded empathetically. "That's internalized homophobia talking." You betrayed yourself first. The words stung, forcing Isla to face her moral failings, the choice to conform, the damage it wrought. Back in her temporary home, she pored over Ivy's old letters, hidden in a box she'd never discarded. You complete me, one read. Don't let the world tear us apart. Tears flowed as guilt consumed her. I could have fought for us. Instead, I caved to pressure, family expectations, career ambitions in a conservative industry. Journalism prized objectivity, but personal lives were scrutinized. Coming out could have cost her promotions, respect. Was that justification? Or cowardice? The tension escalated when a reporter from a rival paper contacted her for an interview. Tell your side, he urged. The public sees you as the heartbreaker. Isla hesitated, her mind warring. Speak out and risk more backlash, or stay silent and let lies define her. She chose silence at first, but the isolation gnawed. One night she called me, her voice raw. Alex, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I listened, anger mixing with sorrow. You hurt everyone, Isla, including yourself. The conversation ended in tears, highlighting the irreparable rift. Society's microscope intensified. Online trolls harassed her, calling her a fake lesbian or worse. Her workplace put her on indefinite leave, citing distraction. Financial strain hit. Shared assets frozen, bills piling up. Isla's thoughts turned dark. Is this the price of truth? Losing my job, my family, my stability? But a deeper voice whispered, it's better than the lie that killed Ivy. I too faced repercussions. My law firm partners pulled me aside. This drama, it's affecting your focus. Clients are talking. The implication? My personal life was a liability. Friends from our couples group ghosted me, uncomfortable with the queer undertones. In therapy, I unpacked my resentment. She made me complicit in her denial. The therapist nodded. But society's to blame too, for making queerness something to hide. Isla's journey toward self-acceptance clashed with lingering loyalties. She visited Ivy's grave, kneeling in the rain-slicked cemetery. Forgive me, she whispered. The visit sparked a realization. Ivy's death wasn't just suicide. It was a cry against a world that invalidated their love. Motivated, Isla began journaling her thoughts, raw and unfiltered. The moral quandary of choosing safety over authenticity. Was it selfish? Or survival? A confrontation with her sister brought more drama. You're tearing the family apart, her sister accused over coffee. Mom's heartbroken. Dad won't even say your name. Isla fired back. What about my heart? I lived a lie for you all. The argument escalated, voices rising, ending in slammed doors. But it planted seeds of doubt in her family. Perhaps their rigid views were the real betrayal. As weeks turned to months, Isla sought solace in activism, attending pride events she'd once avoided. There she met others with similar stories, women who'd married men to appease society, only to regret it. You're not alone, one said. The connections healed, but the cost lingered. Fractured relationships, lost security. I watched from afar, my own healing slow. Signing the divorce felt like surrender, but it freed us both. Yet questions haunted. Could we have made it work if society were kinder? The high-stakes decisions we'd made under pressure now demanded reckoning. Isla's transformation accelerated amid mounting pressures. She quit her job at the Tribune, unable to face the rooftop where Ivy had stood in her final moments. I can't pretend anymore, she told her boss in a resignation email, her fingers trembling on the keys. In her mind, it was a moral imperative. Staying would honor the system that forced her silence. But the fallout was swift. Unemployment checks barely covered rent, and isolation deepened. Why fight for truth when it costs everything? She pondered nightly, staring at the ceiling. Society's backlash hit harder. A viral op-ed labeled her the architect of tragedy, accusing her of toying with Ivy's emotions while hiding behind a straight marriage. Comments flooded. She should be ashamed, playing both sides. The hate mail arrived daily, amplifying her inner conflict. Was I wrong to end it with Ivy? Or wrong to start with Alex? The moral gray areas tormented her. Love versus duty, self-preservation versus honesty. Family ties frayed further. At a forced reconciliation lunch, her mother pleaded, "Come back to church. Repent and God will forgive." Isla's response was sharp. Forgive what? Loving someone. The table fell silent, her father's face reddening. This isn't love, it's perversion. The words echoed Catholic teaching she'd internalized, sparking doubt. Am I damned for this? But defiance grew. No, the sin is forcing people into boxes. I navigated parallel storms. Dating apps felt empty, my trust shattered. How do I know you're not hiding something? One date asked bluntly. The question mirrored my own fears. Had Isla's deception tainted me? Therapy sessions delved deeper. You enabled her closet, the counselor said. By not questioning. Guilt surged. I'd ignored red flags for comfort. Now the price was loneliness, a hollow victory in freedom. Isla's path crossed with unexpected allies. Volunteering at an LGBTQ+ shelter, she counseled a teen facing family rejection. They kicked me out for being bi, the girl shared. Isla's heart ached seeing her younger self. Fight for your truth, she advised, but inwardly questioned, at what cost? The girl's story mirrored hers, societal norms crushing identity. It fueled Isla's resolve. I owe it to Ivy to live openly. A pivotal confrontation arose when I ran into her at a mutual friend's party. Tension crackled as we stepped outside. You look free, I said bitterly. She met my gaze. Free? I'm broke, alone, hated. But yes, free from lies. The exchange turned heated. You used me as a beard, I accused. And you let me, she retorted. Because it was easy. The truth stung. We'd both compromised morally for convenience. Post-divorce, Isla pursued writing freelance, penning essays on queer erasure. One piece went viral. The Cost of the Closet. Readers resonated, sharing stories of hidden loves and broken hearts. But trolls countered. You're glorifying infidelity. The debate raged, forcing Isla to defend her choices. Was marrying me betrayal? Or survival in a homophobic world? Her family's ultimatum came via email. Choose us or this lifestyle. Heartbroken, she replied. It's not a choice, it's who I am. The silence that followed was deafening. A moral standoff. Did loyalty to blood trump self-authenticity? Isla wrestled. Blood isn't everything. But the loss hollowed her. I faced my own ethical dilemmas. A promotion at work required schmoozing conservative clients. Keep your personal life quiet, my boss advised. Echoes of Isla's struggle. Hide or risk? I chose transparency, mentioning the divorce casually. One client walked, but integrity won. No more complicity in denial. Isla's awakening peaked at a memorial for Ivy, organized by artists. Standing before the crowd, she spoke. Ivy died because our love was deemed wrong. I hid it, and that killed her spirit. Tears flowed as applause rose, validation at last. But inwardly, am I redeeming myself or exploiting her memory? The ripple effects spread. Friends who'd ghosted returned, apologetic. We were scared, one admitted. Society's fear of queerness exposed. It breeds isolation, pushes extremes like Ivy's despair. As Isla rebuilt, dating entered the picture tentatively. A coffee with a woman from the support group felt genuine, no pretense. But caution lingered. Can I trust love after the damage? The moral weight. Don't hurt another like I hurt Ivy. I reflected similarly. My next relationship demands honesty from the start. The divorce's scars taught that. High drama unfolded when Isla's father showed up unannounced. I read your article, he said gruffly. Made me think. A tentative bridge, but tension simmered. Does this mean acceptance? She asked. Not yet, he replied. The conversation unearthed buried pains. His own repressed youth, societal molds. Isla's thoughts evolved. Change is slow but possible. Yet the cost, lost years, a life ended. Questioned if it was worth the fight. Isla's freelance career gained traction, but not without battles. An editor rejected her pitch. Too controversial. Queer drama doesn't sell neutrally. Frustrated, she pushed back. Neutrality silences us. The exchange highlighted media's bias, fueling her inner fire. I'll force the conversation for Ivy. Society's undercurrents surged. At a panel on mental health in the LGBTQ+ community, Isla debated a conservative pundit. Suicides like Ivy's stem from personal weakness, he claimed. Isla countered fiercely. No, from systemic oppression. Families like mine rejecting us. The audience divided, applause and boos clashing. Inwardly, am I right? Or fanning flames? Family fractures deepened. Her mother's call came tearful. Your father's having second thoughts, but I'm scared for your soul. Isla's response. My soul's fine, it's the judgment that hurts. The moral tug of war. Honor parents or self? She chose self, but grief lingered. I encountered similar crossroads. A family reunion in Texas brought questions. What happened with Isla? I confessed. She was living a lie and I was part of it. My parents recoiled. We don't condone that. The standoff. Defend her or appease. Love is love, I said, walking out. The betrayal felt mutual. Society's norms pitting kin against kin. Isla's romantic tentative steps brought vulnerability. Dating Elena, a teacher, stirred old fears. What if I hurt her too? Their first argument over commitment echoed past. Don't hide me, Elena demanded. Isla's confession. I did that once, it destroyed everything. The honesty strengthened them, but shadows loomed. A shocking revelation hit when Ivy's journal surfaced, mailed anonymously. Entries detailed their love. Isla's wavering. She says she loves me but fears the world more. Guilt crashed anew. I prioritized fear over her. Moral quandary. Was leaving Ivy mercy or cruelty? Confronting me again. Isla shared the journal. Read it, she urged. Pages revealed depths I'd ignored. You knew. I asked. Subconsciously, she admitted. The meeting turned cathartic. We both paid for silence. Forgiveness flickered, not full but a start. Society's gaze intensified with the documentary pitch on Ivy's life. Producers wanted Isla's story. The ex who broke her. She debated. Exploit tragedy for awareness? Or respect privacy? Opting in, she faced backlash. Profiting off death. Inner turmoil. Is this redemption or selfishness? Family reconciliation teetered. A Thanksgiving, absent invitations hurt. Her sister's text. Come but no politics. Isla declined. My identity isn't politics. The choice. Isolation for integrity. My healing involved advocacy, joining ally groups. Straight spouses of queer partners meetings revealed shared pains. Betrayal but understanding. Society forces closets, one said. My view shifted. Blame the system, not Isla. Isla's relationship with Elena deepened, but tests came. Elena's family accepting contrasted hers. Why can't yours be like this? Envy stirred, questioning. Do I cut ties forever? A climactic family meeting. All gathered, tensions explosive. Accept me or lose me, Isla declared. Her father broke. I was wrong. Losing you scares me more. Tears flowed, a fragile mend. But her mother resisted. God says. The divide. Partial victory, lingering wounds. Reflecting, Isla pondered. Was the pain worth authenticity? Ivy's ghost answered yes, but at what human cost? As bonds mended unevenly, Isla's advocacy soared. Her book deal on queer resilience materialized, chapters pouring out pains and triumphs. But doubts crept. Am I qualified after the damage I caused? Society's mixed reception, praise from progressives, scorn from traditionalists, mirrored internal strife. Elena's support anchored her. You're changing lives. Their love, open and unapologetic, contrasted past shadows. Yet a proposal loomed, stirring fears. Commit again, risk hurt? Yes, Isla decided, the ring symbolizing rebirth. My life stabilized with a new partner, Sarah, who knew my history. No secrets, we vowed. Healing came in waves, forgiveness for Isla complete. A final confrontation. Ivy's art exhibit posthumously. Isla spoke. Her work screams the truths we hide. Attendees debated. Was her death preventable? Society's role? Family fully reconciled? Not quite. Her mother attended therapy, progress slow. I love you, she said tentatively. The moral evolution. Change possible but hard one. Isla's thoughts culminated. The choices wrong right shaped us. But in authenticity we find peace. Years on, reflecting. The drama, betrayals, awakenings. Was denying love the ultimate betrayal? Or society's judgment the true villain? Was it right for Isla to marry Alex knowing her true feelings? Or was that a necessary survival tactic in an unforgiving world?